Welcome Senj 401 students. This is a bit of a quick tutorial on how to get started with the blogging system that we'll be using for participation in the course this semester. I'm using the B2 Evolution blogging system. We've had that for the past couple of years. It's a little tricky to kind of get into it first, a couple of gotchas, but the purpose of the screencast is to get you started. So let's get going. You'll have received from me via email details on the name of your blog, that is your blog username, as well as the password. And so to begin with, there are really two ways to log in. One way, if you wish, the quick way, is to simply go to the website itself. So if we go to cms.senj.ubic.ca, we'll be taken to the main screen, and what we want to do is click the login button. I'm going to log in here with a demo user I've added, so someone called Ananke. This doesn't correspond to anybody in the course, by the way. So I'll type in the user's name and copy in the password. And I press login. Don't press register. You already have an account. You don't need to take my credentials and register. You're already activated. Just click login, and that will then take you to the blocking system, but I'll point out something, which is right now you're logged into the default blog, which corresponds to Tracker. Now, there's another way that we can log in, which I'll show you. This alternative way to log in is actually indicated in the email I sent you. It's probably the best because not only do you get logged in, but you also start out in the default location, which is your own blog. So again, we'll go in here. I'll type in cms.senj.ubic.ca. I'll then type in index.php, and after that, you would type in the name of your blog. In this case, I'll use this demo user, this Ananke, and that will take me to the login screen. So it says, of course, I have to log in. That's not an issue. Type in the username, type in the password, again, type login, and then we're taken to the screen, but now it's a bit different. We're no longer in the tracker. We're actually over here with Ananke, which means that actually right now I am in the blog for this user. Now, there are no postings here. This is basically what you'll see when you first log in. But I would suggest that index.php's variant of logging in, that is where you provide your blog name. It's a bit faster, a little less error prone. So we're now logged into Ananke's blog. We can go and now post something. So a couple things to point out. The first is that we are in, as I showed previously, Ananke's website, blogging site that is. And if I want to post, you'll see actually there is enabled here this plus post button. So I'll click on that. And I'll show you something very quickly though. I hadn't mentioned this. The only way that anyone can see the names of the blogs on this blogging system is if they're currently logged in. If I were to click on anybody's blog, so if I were on Tracker, or if I were in, say, Dione, you'll see that there's no longer up top here any plus post button. So if I go back here to Ananke's website, click like so, you see now I have this enabled. So let me click on plus post. You have your typical editing window, which is now sort of part of the typical JavaScript editing machinery. Let me go in here. I'll type in my first blog posting, and then inside here I'll say this is the text of my first blog posting. Sorry about the typing there. I realize it sounds like elephants going through the room. Now, there are a variety of ways in which you could stage this post, but let me show you, in essence, the most important thing you can do. If you go down to where it says draft, if I click on this, there are a bunch of options. What you want to do is you want to click on the community setting. That is, all of the users of this blog, basically all the students in this blog, including myself and the TAs, belong to the community. And what we want to have happen is, once this blog posting is ready, to be saved to the community. So let me go ahead and click community, and then click Save. So if I'm now here in Ananke's blog, you'll see that this says the post has been created, my first blog posting, no great shakes, that's totally fine, what we expected. And what I'll do is actually log out of Anankes, a blog site, and log into someone else's, and you'll see that actually this posting will show up in the tracker. So I'm quickly going to log in to another user. This user corresponds to someone called Kratos, that is the blog name. So again, cms-sen-juvik.ca, index.php, Kratos. And I've done this, of course, after just logging out of Ananke's website. So that'll take me to a web page, ask me to type in the credentials for this user. Again, this is the pseudo user. So I'll type those in, Kratos, and then I'll copy or paste in the password. Click login. Again, don't click register. Click login. And what you'll see is that I'm now on Kratos' website. But because I've set the permissions such that only users who are logged in can see others, let me go over here to Ananke. So in other words, you'll be able to see Ananke's posts, but also you'll see Ananke's posts here in the tracker. And in fact, if I were to go ahead and post for Kratos, you would see in the course tracker not only the Ananke post, but also the Kratos post. Let me show you one more thing here. How do you log out? So if you go over here to the upper right, you'll see that there's this menu for Kratos with a couple of options. Edit your profile, so on and so forth. But the most important one here is to log out. Something I'd recommend you do, although then again, if you're doing everything from your own laptop, it might be just easier to sort of stay logged in. If you're using a public browser or public machine, probably best to log out because unless you do so, you're kept logged in all the time. And this is not a terribly secure system. That's why I don't want you to use it in the credentials. One last thing to point out, I haven't quite figured out how to fix this yet. You'll see that where I'm pointing to right now, there's like a little question mark. I actually have small little identicons for all users, but for some strange reason, they're not showing up. There are some weird permission things because we're using secure Linux. I'll try and fix it up so at least it's more aesthetically pleasing. For now, though, here, let me go ahead and log out, and then I'll be taken to the course tracker. And again, remember, because we're logged out, we can't see any postings. To be able to see anything, you must be logged in. So I've tried to at least keep that bit of privacy. So I'm sorry, I had said that I had nothing else to show you, or that the previous thing was the last thing, but I forgot. I have to talk just very briefly about how to comment. Again, no great complications. What you see now is I've logged back into Kratos, his account, and right now I'm also in the tracker, which means this is the aggregate blog that shows all postings so far. So here we have the one single blog posting so far, which is my first blog posting corresponding over here to Ananke, as you see. And I'll click on that. I'll read this post very carefully, considering my comments quite clearly, and then I can go ahead here and leave a comment. So this is my comment. And go ahead and send the comment. Now, in terms of commenting, I want to sort of make sure that at least the comments sort of make sense, and so we're going to just have some very light approval. I may sort of change that as time goes by. It may not make sense to always have comments approved, but regardless, it might even be easy enough for people to approve comments on their own, but don't worry, we'll just handle that and figure it out as we go along. For now, that's how you add a comment.